Hi, this is Saen Higgins, and welcome to the channel here. So happy that you guys are here. We got a lot of information. In this video, I'm going to talk about exactly how inflation works around you and your family, how it affects you, and how real estate can actually turn the tides on that for you. There's really not a whole lot of vehicles out there that can do it like real estate. So stick around. Listen, at the very end, I've got a little bonus for you. We're changing a little bit of this up. So stick around to that point. Click on that. I've got some special training coming up, but we'll get to that a little later. Right now, by the time we're done with this video, you'll understand inflation, how it works, and truly how it works for your advantage rather than just being the victim of it. So stick around for all of that. All right, so inflation and real estate, what's the correlation there? First of all, let's go back. Let's go all the way back to when I was a kid. I mean, you can go all the way back to 1969-ish, 70, somewhere in that area, where me and my brothers and sisters, I remember this, at the local store down the street, maybe a block and a half away, we could get a candy bar and a soda for probably 12 cents. I think that was the least I remember spending. And we'd work all week long to get that 12 cents, if we even got it for that week. There's all sorts of things we used to do for the soda and get the money. We'd sell fruit, what have you. And then as you're getting older, more and more and more. And people like to look at that, nostalgic. They look at a brand new Mustang when it first came out in 1965. I do believe approximately $3,500. $3,700, right in that range. I mean, right now they're $60,000, $70,000. So what's going on? It just keeps going up. But why does it keep going up? Now we got to talk about COVID. Okay, COVID is a perfect example of what that is. So COVID hits, everything shuts down. Government's never seen anything like this. The world's never seen anything like this. And it really showed how delicate our economic system is. If somebody's not producing something for a consumer to take it on the other side, things grind to a halt real quickly. So you heard the term, and I'm not trying to trigger anybody. I'm not going to tell you to wear a mask or not wear a mask or get vaxxed or whatever the hell people were doing. I'm just talking about what causes inflation. And that was a perfect example because the government, nobody's working. They shut everything down. Remember, we had to bend the curve that was more of a mountain than a curve and all of that stuff. But nobody's got money. So nobody's got money to buy things, and then nobody's making things, and there's this kind of an odd economic weirdness, if you will. And then so the government says, I know what we're going to do. We're going to shove a bunch of money out there with the PPP money. Remember that? Well, there's a trigger for you. And people were getting paychecks, even though they weren't working from the government. So now you've got people that aren't working and got flush with cash from the government, and they're all chasing fewer and fewer products. First of all, supply chains are broken down. So if I'm getting a door to put in my house this is a door. Okay. If I'm getting a door from China, but they're not working in China because they're shut down due to the pandemic, there's only so many doors in my supply chain. Now I got a bunch of guys over here that can't go anywhere. So they want to fix up their house and they need a bunch of new doors. Okay, I know this personally because this happened to me on some of my projects. So all of a sudden I'm trying to buy doors, but so is everybody else. Meanwhile, the supply chain goes, it doesn't have anymore. So the same money is chasing fewer goods. Next, on top of that, the government's giving us a bunch of money. So now I've even got more. Now everybody can buy doors. Even the guy down the street. I got more people wanting doors. I got more people who can afford doors. The problem is we don't have any more doors because over here they're not making them. And we got a lot of cash chasing the same thing. So this guy over here also has to increase the inflation. He's going to increase the price of the doors because he's going, dude, I was out of doors. I got all these people that want doors. I got to feed all these families that work for me on fewer doors being made. Okay, so I still need to hit payroll and all those other things, and I've only got a few doors over here. So whoop, there goes the price of doors. all the way down the line. Same thing with real estate. So right before the pandemic, the economy was looking to shrink a little bit. We were expecting some inflation coming in, not that much. Good time to not have any debt. But you look at real estate, our industry in that, how does that happen? Well, if you've got the same amount of money, okay, or excuse me, more money, chasing the same amount of real estate, what has to happen to the real estate? It has to go up. Now you put on top of that where you've got less real estate and more money chasing it. So our inventory of real estate for sale, because people were staying home, they were unsure, they didn't know where they were going to go. All of a sudden saying, I'm going to pull my house off the market. I don't know what's happening at the job. So now instead of, I'm just going to keep it really simple, but the numbers are really close to this. Instead of having 56 houses on the real estate market, it dropped to 31 houses. I mean, literally, inventory was dropping all over the place. But then there's all these people flush with cash, and their job said you can work remotely, you can be anywhere. And then some people got upset at what their government was doing. So we had the influx of people going into places like Florida, Arizona, Nevada, Texas, and all of that. This is such a perfect example. And the prices have to go up. So as soon as they said, we're going to release this money, me and my buddies go, TikTok, it's going to go up. Now it's costing more money for everything. And then the feds have got to cool the economy down. And I'm not going to get into the feds and the interest rate and stuff like that. I mean, understand the Federal Reserve isn't even a government agency. It's a private organization that was created back in 1913, I think it was, by the Rothschilds. And now I'm not going to get into conspiracy. I mean, I may be in a cabin in the middle of the woods with no cell reception. But that doesn't mean I'm paranoid. What I'm saying is the Federal Reserve was there to establish the overnight rate between banks and making it so the East Coast could actually do stuff with the West Coast. That's originally how it was started. And now they say, okay, we're going to raise the interest rates to slow the economy down so we have less products, people chasing less things, and then we try to curb inflation. That's how it works. Okay. Now, all of that said, what the heck does that have to do with inflation proof if I want to buy a house? Go all the way back. I do believe it was in the 60s, and I could misspeak the school, but you'll get the point. There was an economic professor. I do believe it was Berkeley. The commencement guy that was going to do the speech for the economic department, for whatever reason, couldn't be there. So they said to the lead economic professor, we're going to have you give the graduating speech for the economic class. And he goes, okay. Wasn't really prepared for it. And he went up there and he says, how many of you want to be a millionaire? Now, that was a lot of money back then. So, of course, everybody's raising their hands. They're in the economic juggernaut of the universities, which Berkeley is. They've got the Haas School of Finance, et cetera, et cetera. So everybody raised their hands. He goes, then forget everything you've learned here and buy as much real estate as you can, because they're not making any more of it, and the rest of the world's going to want to live in the United States. Guess what? He was right. That was the look of, he was right. He was absolutely right. So everybody is going, I forget everything I learned. I just got this education. Back then it was a little cheaper. And think about it. If you had the Wayback Machine, if I could go get in a time machine right now and cruise back to Berkeley, 1970, my parents bought their first home in California for $18,000. I just looked it up before this video. Its value is $2.2 million. Trust me, they didn't do anything to the house. It is exactly the same house that I grew up in. Okay, it's called inflation. Had I went back there and bought as many properties as I could for $18,000 and did everything I could, wash floors, drive Ubers, do whatever I can to make sure that nut's taken care of, it's going to go up. More people want to live in the United States, all that. So the inflation goes up, means rent goes up. I still have my core value in it. Okay, I paid $18,000 for that. Or right now in today's market, I paid $350,000 for it. I can go back and do that Wayback Machine anytime I want. How many of you wish you could have bought every piece of real estate you can get your hands on right before the market crashed, the real estate market crashed in 2008 and 9? Right? They're almost double from what. Let's go back to 2019. Let's go back to the dot-com bubble. It's not going to change. They're only making so much of this stuff, and people want to be there. So That's truly your hedge against inflation. So I can go get a job as an engineer and get really smart and work at my job, and maybe I'm making $100,000 a year. But in 5 and 10 years, I might make $120,000, $130,000 a year. My houses that I've been working on for the last 5 to 10 years, they're now worth $400,000, $500,000, $600,000. I still have rent coming in from them. I mean, life's good. There's no place like the United States to do it, and real estate is the best hedge against inflation. So then you go all the way back to tax liens and tax deeds. But I don't have time to do that, or whatever the case scenario is. If you can get into that $300,000 property for $100,000 and maybe $20,000 to $30,000 in rehab, you kind of went in a time machine. Okay, you went back here, you got at that point, and you can go from there. This is why when people come to my conferences, I always say, stick around. Okay, I'll show you how to turn $50,000 into $1 million in 10 deals. And would be the laziest student I've ever coached, if you will. So there you have it. Listen, if you want more on that, and I know you do. I mean, I can see right now. I'm getting messages are coming up from everywhere. I'm not really live, but anyway. Just thumbs up, do all that stuff, but put in a message there. But down in the link below, just click the link down below. It should be in bold print there, higginsmethod.com. And I've got a free course for you. That's right. The inflation hasn't hit the price of my course. It's free. Better get it before the inflation gets that, right? Start printing dollars. You're pretty lucky. You're the luckiest duck in the world. All right. May the force be with you. Nano, and all that good stuff. Thank you for watching. We'll see you out there.